There once was a time where Mercedes meant luxury, it meant quality, it meant elegance and class. That was quite a while back, but that is a time you can relive by buying this car. They used to be known as the Mercedes-Benz, the Mercedes-Benz, not to confuse people. Then it just became Mercedes. But these days, of course, we just have Mercs, and the Americans call them Benz. So that says it all, doesn't it? This rather lovely old thing was actually designed in the 70s, late 70s, and then came out in the early 80s and went on right the way until the 90s, basically because it was such a good car, people carried on buying them, and it was considered the last proper Mercedes, the car that they put all of their engineering know-how into. It's an over-engineered German car. It's a bit of a tank, a small one of course. This car, as you can see, is silver, from a time when silver meant class. It meant not showing off. It meant elegance. These days every car's silver. I'm in danger here of losing the plot. Not the plot. I'm in danger here of getting sidetracked and losing the purpose of this video, because this is actually a no-nonsense sales pitch. Ready? If you know me, then you probably will know that I am actually quite a fan of the old Mercs. It's the new ones I don't like. Old ones are great. Old ones are interesting. But that is kind of beside the point. This is about me pointing out all of the faults within this car and then telling you a bit more about it and suggesting that you should buy it. I mean, you should buy it. Somebody needs to buy it. For a 31-year-old car, this is in excellent condition. Look at the sides there. There are no dents to be seen anywhere. None at all. There is no rust to be seen. Do you know where these go rusty? There? Not sure. Have a proper good look, because the only thing on this paint is a bit of dirt. Oh, but look what we see here is a small dent on the bonnet, and then a couple of scratches that have been filled and a couple of stone chips here and there, and then the grill's ever so slightly rashed where it's had chipped. It could do, you know, if you want it perfect, that needs to be replaced. But down the other side of the car we have the same issue with its condition, and that is no dents anywhere, just a few stone chips and a couple of dirty marks where I splashed through a puddle there. Other than that, there's no rust. How's that possible? Oh gosh, look, there's a stone chip, right. And then we get to the worst part of the car, which is actually this rear quarter. When you look closely, you can see that it has been resprayed, but it's not been filled in, it's just been resprayed for some reason. If this was my car to keep, I'd be tempted to rub that back and see what the paint is like underneath it, because when cars are relatively new, you get a scratch. They're very, very keen on just going into a body shop and just blowing in a whole panel, and of course the quality of that is never going to be as good as the original. Given a bit of time, that's what happens. How close do you have to get to it before you even notice that? Well, not here. For my eyes, here. So a couple of feet away, and then you can start to see it's just ever so slightly crazed in places. Besides a couple of marks on the bumper there, and a bit on the corner. Yeah, all this is good as well. I really want to show you the underneath of this car, because although I haven't seen it myself, it did go into the MOT station next door where they remarked upon how clean it actually is. And it's been said before that underneath there isn't any rust anywhere, which is even more amazing. But it's a bit difficult to do unless I do something a bit creative here. So what I'm going to do is run over my phone. Yeah, I am. Piece of carpet phone on the floor. This car has wheel trims, not alloy wheels, wheel trims, designed to help aerodynamics. And what we see under the engine bay, again, is more solid metal everywhere. No rust. That brown stuff on the bonnet isn't rust, that is glue from, I think it might have had some sort of sound deadening material under there at some point. I think the reason I like these old Mercedes very much is because of the attention to detail. It's not fussy, it just has the things that you need. It has good materials everywhere, such as the soft door seals and the carpet. The carpet is absolutely superb. That's a proper, I mean a really proper carpet. It's nice to touch and it cleans up with just one vacuum. The mileage is 126,759 currently. It has a sunroof that works. It has 4 electric windows that work. Clean, clean, clean. Everywhere is clean in this car. Take the Mercedes out for a drive. That's where you discover its only other problem, and that is when you first start it up, the idle is really uneven. Yes, it's uneven. It needs a little bit of expert help, I believe. It could have something to do with the idle control needle valve, whatever it is it has, or the throttle body. I'm not really sure at present, but you just leave it for 30 seconds or so and then it's fine. The Mercedes is a very different drive to other cars, certainly the ones of this era. It's very, very quiet, very, very smooth, and the steering doesn't have that kind of want to sling you in a bush anywhere. Remember, this has a steering box rather than a steering rack, so at slow speeds it does feel kind of, well, a bit wondery, I suppose. There's no play anywhere, there's no issue with it. It's just the way, the character of these cars. They're just not sports cars. They're designed to take you on long journeys, and a long journey I shall, well, not go on today. It's just a little demonstration, a little drive out, a treat. Yeah, and it is a treat actually. I have driven this car a couple of times before. I did a review on it, and then I compared it against my Rover 420 GSI. As far as comparisons go, they don't really get much more stupid than that, because what is it to compare? It's so different to one another. What's about driving this car though? I mean, it's smooth. The gear changes are seamless. I don't even notice when it's changing gear. I'd be kind of keen to see how it handles this big hill here, whether it'll kick down and need to stay there for a long time, or whether it'll just waft up there in a low gear quite effortlessly. Coming to the steep part, it's going to have to kick down really to actually keep going. There we go. This is not a fast car. It's not slow, but it's not fast. It's leisurely, and it kind of picks its feet up at its own leisurely pace and gets you to the speed that you want to be going without you getting stressed about it. And I think that's quite a good thing. Unless you want something completely different, then it's pointless. Then I'd look at something else. So it drives as it should do, which is laid back, smooth, quiet, and without any drama. There are no knocks or clonks or anything unpleasant. It's just really lovely. That's the best way to describe it. It did pass its MOT fairly recently without any advisories at all, and with a rather excited and pleased expression from the MOT man. He was very, very impressed with it. you don't have the expectations of sportiness or speed or bravado with it. It's just a good, proper German car, built the way that they used to make them. And it's a rare opportunity to have something like this, and you should take it.